Sugar and spice and all that's nice, yet different. Brothers Jim and Brian Sullivan set out to craft a unique blend of coffee house with tea and pastries.
Oh yeah, definitely today.
And employees that fit sort of like coffee in a cup.
We do look at everyone we bring in, and part of who you pick is not only their skill or their proficiency or their competency as a barista or as a, someone who's like a foodie, but you want someone, who's fun to work with.
And this is just the waffle of the day.
It's a lot of hours that you're spending here, and then you want them to feel like they're part of the team and they're participating.
The brothers were raised in many different places.
From D.C. originally. The family moved around a little bit, but when I was young we moved here.
Native New Englander, but we moved down to the D.C. area when I was 10, so we're sort of pseudo-natives.
Older brother Jim says he recalls when the district wasn't that friendly of a place to open up a neighborhood coffee shop.
Been here since the early 80s. We've seen a lot of changes in the city for the better. I mean, the city's really, I don't want to overstate it, but it's gone through a great renaissance in the past 10 years, and there's a lot of great new concepts going in, a lot more people living in the city. You look at Penn Quarter, where the Verizon Center is. I mean, you didn't want to park your car there at night a decade and a half ago. Now you pay $20 a night to park just to get a space.
They say their business is a family affair.
We went through a whole bunch of different names, and then we settled on Tynan. That's actually a family name. It's our mother's maiden name.
Our grandfather, John Tynan, is just a wonderful guy. He was sort of a small town politician and was just beloved by the community.
It seemed to fit Tynan Coffee and Tea. And it means, obviously it means a lot to us.
When we were thinking of names, we liked the idea of using a family name, but Sullivan, great name too, but we were afraid if we went with Sullivan, it might sound like a pub or a bar.
Younger brother Brian, seen here, embarked on a business career while older brother Jim practiced law. Now, as entrepreneurs, the brothers put in long hours. They say getting along well makes life in the coffee and tea business a whole lot easier.
Well, he's, what is he now? He's about 6 years older than me. We got a sister in between us, and so he kicked me around a little bit, but he was already in college before I was in high school.
It's something we had talked about around the dinner table, like at holidays, for a very long time.
The interesting thing is I went to college locally, and when I graduated, he was already situated here, so we moved in together when I was right out of college.
I was practicing law. Brian was working for big companies. My dad worked at a big company, and we always said, well, at some point down the future, wouldn't it be a lot of fun to do something together?
We got to know each other really well when I was about 21, 22. We lived together about 3 or 4 years before I got married. And so I think that gave us a good background to know whether or not we'd work well together.
And working together well seems to be the case, as evidenced by their 3 stores that sell not only coffee and espresso, but also the warm beverage drink du jour, and sandwiches, wraps, smoothies, wine, and beer, and of course, the waffle of the day. The brothers Sullivan say they both knew they wanted to try their hands as entrepreneurs, and first looked at buying a franchise.
And when we talked to a couple of the groups, we kind of scratched our head and said, we could start something on our own and do it, and hopefully do it as well. And so probably a little less than a year ago, we started to work on what we wanted the brand to be, what we wanted to serve.
After much research, the brothers decided that loose leaf teas seemed to be an area they felt they could serve really well.
And we've seen it work elsewhere in the country, so we thought DC was a great area to try to start it and let's see how people reacted to it.
Judged by the crowd on opening weekend, folks seem to be reacting quite well inside this Columbia Heights Coffee and Tea House, whose owners wanted to really be part of the neighborhood, yet offer unique items beyond coffees and teas, like this chocolate chip waffle of the day, a culinary treat that you can surely trust to take a bite out of your sweet tooth. The brothers say as they get older, they realize that proximity to family is also a treat.
Once you leave home, you go to college, you go off, you do your own thing, you don't see each other quite as much. I mean, we're fortunate that we all live in the area, but to be able to see each other in the office every day and interact, and there's an understanding, an unspoken sort of connection. You don't always have to explain every little thing because we're always on the same page about the bigger stuff.
A waffle of the day to go?
Especially in business, especially over the last 2 years, when you have employees and you have people that you work with, it's a different level when you're working with your brother, and it's someone who you just don't even think twice about. You just trust them, and it's family. So A, it's fun, and B, it's just this natural inclination to not worry about that other half because he's your brother.
It's soy hot chocolate, handcrafted, European dark chocolate. Of a soy hot chocolate